So full time, and it is Chelsea 3, Wolves 0. When the lineups came out, I guess you could say I had a tiny bit of optimism, mainly because they hadn't gone entirely full strength. They were resting some players, and it seemed like with the 4-2-3-1 system that we were using, it was currently our strongest lineup. So I guess I had a bit of optimism, but that was short-lived. For the first half, they pretty much battered us. We weren't really allowed much space at all. And the majority of the time we were just sat in our own half, camped, pretty much waiting for Chelsea to unpick us, and that's what they did. Pretty poor keeping, to be honest, for probably actually the majority of both the goals. Yeah, I think so, but I think Jose Sarr's not had the best season so far, to be honest, and I think he could have done a lot better for the first goal as well. I don't know why he's stepping out like that. It's a bit weird, but unfortunately, yeah, it's a terrible goal to concede right on half time, and then they came out in the second half and pretty much continued their dominance. I liked the fact that we brought Joe Hodge on. I thought he's been doing really well in the under-21s this season, so to give him a shot, and I thought he actually played pretty well. Coming into the Premier League against Chelsea like that for your debut is not easy to do, and I think he didn't look too out of place. But you could obviously tell that we were missing Ruben Neves pretty badly in that midfield, where he makes us tick in a lot of ways. And without him in there, we didn't really pose much of a threat. The only threat that I felt that we posed for the entire match was pretty much some of Adama's solo runs. There was one time when I think Nunes played the ball. Nunes was pretty good today as well. He made especially one run where he went past about 3 Chelsea players and found Moutinho, I think it was, for a chance, but I think Moutinho was fouled in the end. Either way, Nunes and Adama linked up well for one of the chances, where Adama puts it back into the box. And Adama's crossing today was actually pretty decent. It's just that the majority of the time when he was past the ball, he lost it, unfortunately. But he was not as bad, in my opinion, as Podence or Guedes, who created and offered pretty much nothing. Guedes, I'm struggling to see where the value is in money for that transfer at the moment. He's not offering anything whatsoever on the wing. I don't know if he's just better through the centre, but I thought, yeah, he was right to be hooked at half-time. And Podence, with the fancy flicks that aren't working out, I think just needs to keep it relatively simple. He finds himself doing a lot of defensive work at the moment. He's not strong enough to body off a lot of the people that he gets into battles with. So yeah, the part of the bus strategy didn't really work for us today, and Chelsea sort of unpicked us. And I thought Totti actually did pretty well coming in as a replacement. I think he wouldn't have been out of place if we played him last week against West Ham as well, instead of that system that Bruno tried. But it's now, I think, I don't know what I expected, but maybe a little bit more optimism. Hopefully now we can get Julian Lopetegui, is that how you say his first name? But Lopetegui in, and get some confidence back into these players, because right now it's very sapping to watch this team play football. Yeah, I don't have much more else to say than that, apart from, yeah, we just need some more new ideas. Otherwise we're going to find ourselves sucked into, unfortunately, a relegation battle, because the teams that we thought were going to be down there come the end of the season are actually starting to pick up some points, like Bournemouth and Fulham. So yeah, things to work on with the new manager, and I hope that we can turn this ship around. I know we're only 10 games in, but it's starting to look a little concerning. I've got my fingers crossed.
Chelsea 3, Wolves 0, and I think a result that all of us predicted before a get-a ball was kicked. It doesn't help the fact that we're managerless and we've got a number of injuries and suspensions, but it's still not really an excuse for that performance. I thought it was pretty gutless, to be honest. It felt like a game where, similar to the Chelsea game last season, where we had fuck all to play for, which is concerning because it's 9 games into the season. The players already look like they're on the beach. You know, you got the likes of Podence coming out in the week saying, you know, we needed a change. You know, and you look at that today, and there's no change in the attitude, and it's just gutless. It's spineless for me. There's no fight. There's no grit. There's no steel in that team. It's just too nice. The goals, I think I think Sar's at fault for the first one, and I think Sar's been poor all season. I wouldn't be adverse to giving Sarkic a run. Most of the players have been poor all season. It's not just me singling him out, but I think from his own standards last season, he's been poor this season. I think he's poor for the first. I can't remember what the second was. I'm not being funny, but I was switching off in that game. Is a difficult watch, and I felt like there was nothing to play for, which is again a little bit concerning. The third goal, don't know what Kilman's doing. It looks like his boots are made out of lead, like treading water. It's way too easy. He'll be kicking himself at that. But we created next to nothing. It's like we were allergic to make the right decision in the final third. It's so hard to watch. It's so hard to watch. There's a couple of occasions where we had one man over on the other side, and I say the one man over. We had a dime on the other side, and every single time we just made the wrong decision. But if it's a confidence thing or whether they're just inept, which we know they're not. I know someone said to me earlier, perhaps we're just not as good as we think we are, but we should be comfortably mid-table. And at the minute, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned that if we are sucked in, and some would say we already are, that we are. I don't think these players have got the bollocks to get us out of the mess. I really don't. We know when the times get tough, they don't dig in. We've seen that. When it really matters, they can't do it. But it's nice of Costa to have his testimonial today. It's so strange that was. That's what it felt like, a testimonial. I think he touched more of the Chelsea fans' hands than he did the ball, which, he's not up to speed. And what can you expect when you're not playing into him? We can't even get a ball into him. But I think we're all banking on a new manager bounce, which is risky, because it's not always going to be the case where a new manager comes in and gives you that lift. I'm hoping that whether it's Lopetegui or someone else, they come in Monday, Tuesday and gets a few days to work with the squad before the Forest game, because that Forest game on Saturday now is absolutely massive. Look, it's the 10th game of the season, still a lot of football to be played, but we've seen how poor they are. Probably the poorest side in the league this season with us. If we lose that game or don't get 3 points and don't beat them convincingly, it's not going to be good. But hopefully a new manager comes in, we get that bounce, fresh ideas, because at the minute it's absolutely dreadful.
I would say that's probably our least surprising loss of the season. Loads of players out. Chelsea are in good form. Good new manager in. We've got no one. They've not had that long to work with the players. You could see it coming, but we were still so rubbish today. Like, we couldn't string two passes together. Every time somebody got near the ball, they were flat-footed, facing the wrong direction, back to goal. It was rubbish. Even though Chelsea's pressing was excellent, we played into their hands. Everything was predictable. Shocking performance. I couldn't tell you one player that had a good game apart from Nunes, who must be thinking, what on earth is he doing at this club? Because that was pathetic. Hopefully when we got our back four back to how it was, Neves back in there, you could tell we missed him today. Hopefully then we'll be a better team, but as it stands, we are in a serious dogfight this season unless something seriously changes and fast. I don't see if a new manager's going to do that, to be honest. I don't think that's going to have that much of an impact unless he's massively revolutionising the culture of the club at the minute. Everybody seems down, devoid of confidence. It's just not good enough, and we are really going to struggle this year if we're not careful. But yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Chelsea 3, Wolves 0. Obviously a bit of a mismatched team really from a Wolves point of view, but that first 11 was still relatively strong. I think obviously, you got Collins out, Neves, Jimenez, Neto, all that sort of stuff. It's still a competent enough Premier League team for me, or at least starting 11 for me. And first half, I thought we were okay in parts. Chelsea could have been 3-4 up, to be honest with you, but we were sort of went back to being quite tight, compact, difficult to break down. And Chelsea were having a lot of possession for vanity, weren't really hurting us, weren't playing through the lines. And I I felt relatively comfortable. We had a few half chances on the break. Nunes put a header over the bar from a good ball from Traore, and yeah, we were in the game at that point, and then we give away such a sloppy first goal. It's too easy for Mount to put a ball in the box, and the header, don't know where Jose Sar's going. It's just schoolboy. It's just so bad. I feel like I said the goals against West Ham on the podcast this week were, when you look against you, these things go against you. But there was no luck going against us for that. It was just so sloppy, just weak, so weak. And as soon as that first goal went in, you can see the whole team's deflated. The second half was only going one way, and we went out without a whimper again. And I don't really want to be too hard on the team that were out there today, because we have got a lot of injuries. We've got a lot of we've got suspensions as well. It's key players, but for me, when the going gets tough with this team, we just fold. There's just absolutely no fight in this team, no bottle. We've seen it at key times throughout the cycle of us being in the Premier League under Fosun. The big games, the big moments, the core of that team has been the same, and we fold. We don't show up. We turn away with a whimper. My biggest fear right now is that as a team, we're bang in trouble. Like there's no two ways about it. I think people keep saying this Wolves team, and myself included, this Wolves team on paper is the best squad we've ever had in our lifetimes in the last sort of 20, 30 years, and I'm starting to doubt myself here. And you know what? Like, football's not played on paper, and yeah, individually we've got some good players, we've got some good talent, but we're not seeing any of that at the moment, and I just fear for us big time. Like, people probably think we're too good to go down. I mean, there's no fight in this team. There's no bottle. Honestly, they're a shambles. And when the going gets tough, they fold. They really do fold. And you saw it again today. They're all trying to go down the dugout at the end of the game as well. Didn't want to thank the fans for travelling. Like, train strikes. People have had to get fucking National Express buses down there today, and still can't just do a decent thing of just applauding the fans or whatever. For me, I'm so disconnected from this football club right now. We need a new manager in as soon as possible. And even then, I don't think it's going to steady the ship that quickly or turn the tide. And I think that Forest at home on Saturday next week is a 6-pointer. I hate cliches, but it's a 6-pointer. And they could be above us after they play Villa this weekend in the league. And people are saying about how bad this Forest team are. Bournemouth have gone 6 points clear of us today. We are banging trouble. And we need to turn it around quick time. And hopefully it is Lopetegui or another who comes in, gets with the team, because I'm telling you now, the last thing we want coming into that World Cup break is to be in that bottom three, because it's going to be such a slippery slope to get out of.
Chelsea are a tough side to play against at the best of times, so unsurprising that we couldn't get a lot out of the game today. Obviously, it would have been nice for Steve Davis to at least get a goal, but just wasn't our day, unfortunately. It's a difficult position at the minute, obviously lack of manager. I'm hoping someone can come in. We've got the talent in the squad. We just need someone to bring it all together, because the squad are lacking confidence, and you can see that really clearly when you watch them. For me, I think the back four were really poor today. It's not something we say often about Wolves. We're usually quite solid in defence, quite tight at the back, but today we didn't see that. Although there wasn't a lot we could have done about the first goal. Could argue for the third goal as well. I think that second goal was entirely our own fault. I don't know whether you'd blame Kilman or Semedo more so, but one of them was out of position and it led to a goal, unfortunately. And teams like Chelsea are going to use those mistakes to their advantage. I think at times we were poor in possession. We gave the ball away quite a lot. And I think we're lucky, actually, that Chelsea didn't use more of our mistakes to their advantage, because it easily could have been 4, 5, 6-0. Luckily, we've got Jose Sarr, who made some absolutely brilliant saves today. I think Matheus Nunes was outstanding. I think he was the best player on the pitch, in my opinion. Showed a lot of promise going forward. Obviously, we saw that aggression from him as well, which was, nice to see. It was nice to see a player have some real passion for the club. Although I think most Wolves fans would agree that we probably were expecting a result similar to this one. It's nevertheless disappointing, because when you look at the lineup that we put out, it looks really strong. The bench is lacking a little bit still, but watching the football, no one's got any desire, no one's got any ambition. We get forward, but there's no clear-cut chances. Next week is an absolute must-win. If we don't beat Forest, I think we're in serious trouble. Hopefully a new manager can come in, hopefully turn things around. Let's try and stay positive, and yeah, on to Forest.
Chelsea 3, Wolves 0 today. Thought we played a lot better than we have in recent weeks. Bit more fight, bit more passion. Still lacking a bit up top. Thought Costa and Adama played well. Good bit of link-up play. Always going to be difficult when Costa and Adama go off and Campbell and Hwang come on. Just lost a bit up front. Totti looked okay at the back, few shaky moments, could see why. Perhaps he wasn't obviously nowhere near first choice, but Collins will be back soon. Yeah, thought we played okay. It's one of those games, you don't expect anything at Chelsea away. Large going wasn't going to change that, but it was good to get a bit more fight and passion in the team, a bit more energy, a bit more atmosphere in the crowd. Definitely a lot better atmosphere today, unlike West Ham last week that was awful. So important thing now is getting the right manager in. That's going to be the key. Get someone in that can work with these players. There's definitely the talent there. Just getting somebody in with the right tactics and the right application to get them firing. But yeah, some positive signs today, but so it's really a nothing game really. Chelsea away, you're never going to win that, and changing manager, especially having no manager, is not going to change that at all. Nice touch at the end when the two guys currently in charge sent all the players over to clap the fans. That was a nice moment. Hopefully see more of that when a new manager comes in.
Afternoon, Wolves fans. Well, today was a bit of a free hit. As much as I don't think any Premier League game should ever really be described as a free hit, it was a free hit, wasn't it? Youth team, coach in charge of against Chelsea, who are in great form under Graham Potter already. Yeah, not too many positives to take though. As much as I thought, I liked the press conference and saying we're going to get people into the box, it didn't really happen, did it? But I think that's a bit of credit to Chelsea. Let's not take anything away from them. They look very good at the moment. They know the formation well, and it worked really well for them. And they might have made a lot of changes, but didn't seem to affect him in any way. They're beating us, simple as. It's amazing to think. You think Adama, that's his first start in the Premier League. I know he's been injured, but he actually put some good balls into the box. His crosses were good. They were, I suppose, our most dangerous asset today when we actually had a chance. You done well. Always had the beating of Kukro down the wing, which we know he can beat anyone on his day. It was a bit of a get the ball to Adama kind of day, wasn't it? Big bit of praise for actually Joe Hodge. Obviously, the youth team coaches know him well. I thought, yeah, throw him in. The formation we had in the first half didn't work. So yeah, why not throw him in at the deep end? He done very, very well. Big credit to him. We might see a bit more of him if no manager's in charge before the next game. But yeah, I think Neves was a big miss today. I think we really missed his control of the game. His captaincy, I know Moutinho was captain today, he's got a lot of experience, but he wasn't really the leader we needed. And I mean that as in, he always plays the same. I don't think his game ever changes whether he's captain or not. Yeah, Guedes. I was really excited to get Guedes in. Always liked him. Always thought, wow, this is like an hit a ball. I've seen nothing so far. I mean, he looks well off it. I know it's going to take some time to get used to the Premier League. At the moment, he hasn't really got that time. I don't know what to say. Again, it's a shame. Obviously, Neto's been out of form as well, but now you kind of got to play Guedes at the moment, unless maybe you bring Hwang in next game for it. I think the problem is we've got a bunch of misfiring forward players at the moment as well. Yeah, Nottingham Forest next. It's got to be a 3 points, hasn't it? Got to be a 3 points regardless who's in charge, whether we've got a manager or not. You've got to go get 3 points. Yeah, today was what it was. I think we could have done a lot better for all the goals. First goal, where's Sarr? Where he is. I think we there's a lot of points that though should have stopped the cross first. Semedo's got to do something to try but Havertz off. Just nudge him, do anything, just get something in the way, just put him off. It's not a great header, it's not a clean header, it's looped, but Sarr's nowhere near, just watch it over his head, straight in. Second goal again, too easy to get through that back line. Pulisic, nice dink finish really, lifted it over Sarr, but again, Sarr should be doing better for me as well on that one. Don't know what's happened to him this year. Hoping it's a bit of a lull in form when he gets back to it. And the last goal, Sarr can't do anything about that one because it's a great finish, but Kilman got to do better. I think everyone's heads had gone by that point. It's a good finish by Broya, but yeah, I think there's a lot to work on. Whoever comes in's got a big task to get this team playing as a team and firing again. Yeah, Nottingham Forest next. Got to at least score a goal. That's the, oh yeah. Who gets it? I don't know.